Hi, this is Jack with Vacationeeze, and I'm here to talk to you about your February news and deals. So first, let's talk about COVID. Yes, I haven't mentioned this for a while, but I wanted to give you an update. First of all, things are changing related to where you can go, which resorts you can go, and you really need to check that. Even though we're talking about a wedding you may be planning a year from now, I'm not seeing that anything's going to drastically change in the future. So if you're vaccinated, it looks like you can pretty much go anywhere. If you're not vaccinated, I would say Mexico and the Dominican Republic are still open to unvaccinated travelers, as are most hotels in those places. But you do need a COVID test to get back in the U.S. In December, that changed. It has to be done within 1 day prior to arrival, which makes it a little bit tough, but the resorts have done a great job in putting this in place. Now, prior, the resorts actually gave you these tests for free. Things started changing October, November of last year. Some of the resorts started charging. Some had certain qualifications to get it for free. So let me just give you an update on some of the most popular resorts. So let's look at AM Resorts, which is Dreams and Secrets and Breathless and Zoetry. Right now, they now are charging for the COVID test, which they will do at the resort. They'll set it up when you check in. Prices are running between $30 and $50. Now the big question is, what if I test positive? AM Resorts still has a great policy in place, which is that if you do test positive, they will let you quarantine at the resort for up to 14 days for free. So that's great. Let's look at Charisma. So Charisma is Eldorados, Azules, Margaritavilles, Nickelodeons. They were one of the first ones to start charging, and they still are. I've had it done 2 or 3 times there. I think each time it's been between $25 and $40. It's very professional, but again, it used to be free back in 2021. Now they are charging. Another group that changed recently is Palace. So Palace, again, used to be free for any of the Palace and the LeBlanc resorts. Here's the thing. If you're there for 5 nights or more, Palace will do it for free. If it's 5 or 4 nights or less, Palace will charge $30 to $40 also. I saw one of the hotels advertise that it was $19.99. I had it done at the Grand in late December, and they were charging. It was $30, but I had it done a week or so after that at LeBlanc, and they didn't charge, so it was inconsistent. But now they have published that they will be charging for the COVID test. They do have a policy that if you do test positive and want to quarantine there, they have a reduced rate. It is based upon each hotel, and they will provide you that information at check-in. So that's kind of the update related to COVID, and looking forward into the future, I think these policies are going to be in place. Royalton also came out with a change. They no longer are giving the test for free. We've seen Royaltons in between $30 and $100 and some dollars, depending upon which one of the resorts. So it's something you can check prior to departure because these things are changing, but just know that the COVID test will have to be paid for. Now, let's look at some other good news. So there's been some hotel openings that are just happening or happening in the near future that are great for destination weddings. Down in the Cancun area, if you're looking for an adults-only location, Breathless has Breathless Riviera Cancun, one of my favorite hotels. Also, they're just opening up a new hotel on the other side of the hotel zone called Breathless Seoul. I'll be down there in April for the official grand opening. I look forward to seeing it. Everything we've seen so far, it's more of a high-rise hotel than the other Breathless, but it looks like it's going to be fabulous. Same restaurants that they have at the other Breathless, but it is a great location if you're looking for an active lifestyle, adults-only resort, and that's Breathless. Also now, coming into the all-inclusive sector, Hilton has really gone crazy and is opening up a bunch of all-inclusives. So they've had a couple, but let me tell you about them. So you have the Hilton Rose Hall in Jamaica. It is right by the airport. It's nice. It's an older resort. It's priced effectively. It's not my favorite, but it's nice. You also have a Hilton in Vallarta, which is very nice. And now they're opening up a brand new Hilton in Riviera Maya, which looks very nice, Riviera Cancun. The only I will tell you with Hilton so far is the wedding perks they're providing do not look great. I think they will get great because the person that they hired to run the wedding department came from another resort She's awesome. So I think as she can get her feet into this thing and really figure out what Hilton wants to do for weddings, it'll be a great place. We've priced it so far, the new Hilton in Riviera Maya. It tends to price on the high side. I have not been there yet, but it does look like a great, great hotel. So where else are things happening? There is a new Zoetree. So if you're looking for a really boutique hotel, Zoetree is part of AM Resorts, and they are opening up a brand new hotel in Cabo. It's the Zoetree Costa del Mar. They're also opening up a Zoetree soon in Curacao. So these are cute, boutique, high-end, really upscale service hotels. If you're looking for the party, Zoetree is not the place to go, but if you have a smaller wedding, the Zoetrees are great. Now let's also talk about perks. The other thing I'm seeing is that resorts, as they're filling up looking at 22 and 23, are taking perks away. It just is not as good as it was a year ago. As an example, Palace Resorts used to provide amazing, amazing perks, and they still do. But one thing they took away is they used to give one free room for every 8 booked rooms, free room nights. Now what they're basically saying is they are giving a free room to the bride and groom. That's it. So another thing that I've seen that really was upsetting to me, AM Resorts, which is Dreams and Secrets, one of our favorite companies to work with, they used to have a promotion that I've talked about in past videos that no matter what you do with your deposit, as long as you were under 40 rooms, the deposit was only $500 or $1,000, which was a great savings to clients in terms of putting the contract together. But I just saw anything coming through recently, the deposit again is $100 up to 39 rooms, and what they've done is they've changed the resorts based upon the size of the hotel. So if you are going to have a large group, you may want to think twice and talk to your travel professional about this, because with some of their hotels, they actually want 10% of the room revenue. So what does that mean? Let's say you're going to have 50 rooms and you think you're going to stay 5 nights with everybody, and you have a couple of different room categories, and the overall bill that the hotel says if everybody stays in every room is $180,000 of room revenue, they're going to ask you for $18,000 up front. So to me, it's just a little bit on the high side, where some of the hotels, or most of the other hotels outside of AM, are doing that $100 a room. Now what I can tell you is if you stay under 40 rooms or 50 rooms, it depends on the size of their hotel, they do back down to that $100 per room. The other thing is, my experience has been in the past couple weeks, is if that general manager or sales manager wants your group, your travel professional can have a discussion with them and say, hey, my group wants, my wedding wants to be at your hotel, but we're just not willing to pay a $20-some thousand deposit. Will you agree to the terms on a smaller group? So far I've been lucky, 2 for 2. But I think as that's for 2023, I've not tried it for 22. So that's what's happening now for news and deals. I will say that one of the hotels that has kept pretty much the consistency of their perks is Charisma. So Charisma has the Eldorados, they have the Azules, Nickelodeons, and Margaritavilles. They're in Mexico. They also have a property in Punta Cana. Actually 3 now in Punta Cana. They have what's called a private event promotion. It has stayed pretty much the same for the past couple years. It is great. It is a great way for you to get free receptions or discounted receptions depending upon the menus you choose, as well as cocktail parties. And it's all based upon the number of rooms that you book at the resort. But I think their perks have stayed great. Royalton has been okay. They've changed some of their perks, and you really have to read them, because where they used to give you a free something, now if you look at the fine print, it says semi-private. And that's really important to me, because I don't really think that you want to have your cocktail party or a welcome party in the corner of the buffet with everybody else. But again, if you read their fine print, it will say semi-private, and then if you read even further in the contract, it's going to talk about location at the discretion of the resort, which means about 30 days prior, they're going to pick the location, not you picking it today, so you can plan the wedding of your dreams. So it's just something you need to look at. If you're working with a travel professional, I think you really need to make sure that when you review contracts that come from the resorts, that you understand what it is about your wedding events and the locations and what they're truly providing with the perks. This is Jack with Vacationeeze, and hopefully the February news and deals have been helpful for you in planning your destination wedding.